r/askreddit, NSFW. What is the dumbest thing you did because you were horny? Paid for a porn subscription that I didn't realize I was still paying for until 1.5 years later. $1,135 for one orgasm. Haha man, I did this back in the late 90s, and I could not for the life of me cancel the subscription, so I had to go to the bank and cancel my card. Paid for some chick's private Snapchat for a week. $20 wasted. Should have ordered a pizza instead. Stupid sexy pizza. Jerked off at the top of a mountain, looking over my city, as doing something forbidden was an interesting idea. Well, the view was amazing, but I was scared to get caught. Looking back, if someone would caught me, I had serious issues now. Bro thinks he's Homelander. Bailed a chick out of jail once. $200. She then got so drunk she peed on my couch and tried to bang my mom. Took her shopping and just left her there. Never talked to her again. That motherfucking bitch. I was helping my dad close up the sailboat for the winter. We took the seat cushions out and the long ones had to go in the car between us, kind of stacked up like a wall so we could only see each other's heads. Teenage hormones kicked in on the hour ride home and I proceeded to rub one out while looking out the window. Many moons later I told my brothers, who then proceeded to tell my dad. I always wondered why you were so quiet on that trip. You couldn't torture this info out of me. Paid $2 for a massage app on my Xbox that was supposed to make my controller vibrate. It didn't do anything for me and I forgot to refund it, so now I just have this random ass massage game in my library. Tried to shove the mouthpiece of a bottle of WKD up my vagina, then shove a vibrator up my butt. Excuse my ignorance, but what is WKD? Where's that guy that fucked a coconut? I feel like we need him in this thread. I have vivid nightmares about that to this day. Link. You had to mention that damn coconut, didn't you? Tried sucking my own dick when I was 12 and nearly snapped my spine in half. Been there, brother. I mean my own dick, not yours. I have not been there. Girl offered to jerk me off if I let her copy my answers off of one of our finals. I thought it was going to be sometime after, but nope, it was right there during a lecture. Being a typical young guy, of course I wasn't gonna reject the offer. Still surprised to this day we weren't caught. You should have read the terms and conditions. Real gamers find a way to get the game to make the controller vibrate. For example, in Star Wars BF2 on the PS2, if you use the clone commander with the infinite ammo cheat and use an elastic band to squeeze down the fire button, you can make it vibrate indefinitely. Don't ask me how I know this information. Paid $1,200 for a private room at Hustler in Vegas, threw the strippers a wild card and said, "Y'all sit down while I strip for you." WTF was I thinking? I'm going to need some elaboration here, boss. How did they respond? Did you do it well? Did they dance for you after? Did they pay you? You Uno reverse them. There's some confidence, right there. Had to be their easiest and most entertaining $1,200. Invited a girl over that I couldn't stand because it was a sure thing and it had been a while for me. The sex was awful and I was reminded why I couldn't stand her. 1/10. I forgot why I broke up with the FWB and invited her over. Remembered why a few hours later. But the sex was great. Drove an hour on bald tires in a snowstorm so bad it was like driving inside a white box. Passed so many accidents along the way too. Partner did the same. Totally worth it. I accidentally locked my girlfriend and I outside her family's cabin while we were naked with 3 feet of snow around us. We were going skinny dipping in their hot tub and forgot to bring our clothes outside with us, so I had to run about 100 feet buck naked through 3 feet of snow to get back in the front door. Let a chick I was dating move in after only 3 months of being together. Found out 2 months later that she was having another guy over while I was working nights. Confronted her about it and she proceeded to squat, refused to leave, in my apartment for nearly 6 months due to laws not allowing me to remove her on my own. Ended up having to take her to court to finally get her out. I almost jerked off while driving down the highway once, but then I thought if they found my mangled corpse in the wreck with my hand around my dick, my family would be really disappointed. So my brain won that battle. Called my friend's mom mommy. Pre-nut clarity. I was talking about this the other day, lol. I once walked 3 miles, at 2 a.m. during a snowstorm and -3-degree temperatures when my girlfriend called and said that her parents were gone for the weekend. The things a horny 16-year-old kid will do to get laid. LOL. I can hear Tommy Pickles' grandpa saying back in my day we used to have to walk 15 miles in the snow to get laid. I'm dying to know how that ended. Heck, I don't see any issues with that. Had 3 whole kids. 3 of them. I'm knackered. Well, at least you don't have 2.5 kid. Paid $3 for the nudes to Snapchat girls. Never got any, blocked instantly upon paying. And the worst thing is I did that 4 times. God, being horny literally lowers your IQ by like 70%. Stayed with my ex-wife despite 3 cheating incidents. At that time I felt it was better than being alone. I don't know how I feel about it now. Peeped on my sister's best friend showering. I was 12. It's an extremely cringe memory that haunts me when I try to sleep at night. If I'd known the amount of torment it'd cause me in the future, I would have just watched some damn porn. FML. Just got sucker punched by the flashbacks this gave me. The horror. I read Pete on at first. After she called me, on the OL landline, I crawled up into the bathroom window of a neighbor girl, who was in her parents' bedroom's bathroom. She was getting ready to take a shower, so I joined her. Her dad was on the other side of the door, watching TV in his bed. AHH, the mid-70s. Jerked off in principal's office to his daughter's picture. Op is standing on the edge of a knife and decides to start dancing. How did you get any alone time there? LOL, this is my favorite so far. When I was in the 8th grade my teacher was a MILF. It was during English, while everyone was working on their essays I was busy rubbing one out under the table. Finished in my boxers, then the post-nut clarity kicked in and I realized I had to wear those boxers all day. Yeah, we called a kid like you the cluster batter. That was your biggest post-nut clarity thought? Deleted. Discovered my dick is too big for a prescription bottle. Edit, I would like to clarify that the girth was the limiting factor as I did not attempt flaccid. My dad hooked up with Sofia Vergara, and to say he won't stop talking about it is an understatement. Can't answer the question for him, but from how often he brings it up I'd assume it was awesome. Back in 2011, a young woman met Quentin Tarantino at a party in LA, went back to his house and hooked up with him, and then wrote a detailed email to her dozen or so best friends spilling all the details, including that Tarantino sucked on her toes while he jerked off and that he has a chode. Within a week, the email had gone completely viral, link, and she had been fired from her publicist assistant job. That story, and email, seems so cringe. My dad hooked up with Sofia Vergara, and to say he won't stop talking about it is an understatement. Can't answer the question for him, but from how often he brings it up I'd assume it was awesome. If I hooked up with Sofia Vergara, that would be my conversation starter with every person I met for the rest of my life. Maybe it's because that body of yours is absurd. Cylinder.